Okay. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
Great, Bob. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, wanted to ask you about some injury updates here. So I'm just going to do one by one if that's okay. So we don't get confused. But I guess it's been 17 days since Justin had his surgery. So it's getting close to 3 weeks. What's he able to do, if anything, in practice? And do you have a timetable for his possible ability to play in a game?
I mean, every time I do medical reports, I'm always wrong. Um, he is he has not done anything with our team as of today at all. We're going to go practice today. Whether he tries to jump or shoot jump shots, we'd like to start getting him into that fold or that mold. But as of, we didn't practice yesterday. He met with the doctors on Saturday, and, we'd like him to start to try to, come back. I think he did the underwater treadmill. So I guess it's right now, as of today, I can't say anything, Bob, because he hasn't done anything with us. He hasn't skeletoned or dry run our offense or non-contact. He has not done any of that up to today. I'd love it if he could do some non-contact stuff, but I don't know if it's just going to be shooting drills today or what until they give me the okay, I guess.
Yeah. So he's still out for a while. He sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know he has not he hadn't done anything yet, but he does feel good. But yeah, he's going to have to, before he plays, he's going to have to, at least for a day or two, he's going to have to, cut and do some things non-contact and then get into contact,
And I think it's been so long since, Bebe had his surgery. We kind of tend to maybe forget about him a little bit, but I see him out there doing some stuff after games. Where is he at practice wise? And do you have a target date for his return possibly?
Yep. So Bebe's just been, he's been working really, really hard. Optimistically, it would be right around now. But he's still got a few things that the doctor would like from a strength standpoint. He's getting close. I would probably guess, Bob, he's, we're looking at, in a month, is when I think he'll be, maybe February, first week or two in February is when I think he'll be cleared.
Okay, and then we got the news about KK last night. I know he wasn't playing a ton of minutes, but he was playing in the rotation. What's the loss? What's the impact of his loss on the rotation and the team overall?
Yeah, no, I think it's a blow for us because, one, the stuff that happens behind closed doors. He's a young player, a freshman. All of our freshmen continue to develop. They continue to get better, which is what you expect if you have a culture of work. And KK's had an incredible work ethic behind closed doors. So it changes our practice pretty significantly because now, his reps, will go to Devo, at that backup or third point guard, because obviously JD, is going to play more point guard now without KK. But I think it changed, your practice for a basketball team just much different than maybe a football or a baseball team because, we just have smaller numbers.
And Kamani Johnson, any update on his waiver? Have you gotten yay or nay on that, or what's going on there?
Yeah, we haven't heard either way, but that we understand that that's a process and we don't really have control over it. But he's practicing and working hard and in the middle of his player development stuff.
So you're down to 9 scholarship players healthy available. I guess you got to qualify a little bit, but I think that's what you had last year when you had a lot of guys sitting out. How do you feel about the available players you have right now and going forward in this real tough week?
Yeah, ideally you'd like to have as many players as possible available. And we only have 2 walk-ons. There's a lot of places that have more than 2 walk-ons, and We had 4 one year at Nevada. So from a walk-on standpoint, we don't have a lot either. I guess we have 3 because we were under scholarship to start the year, but no big deal. I mean, as long as we got 7, we're good.
Okay, I got a few more about the game, but I'll turn it over to Mike. I thought those were good medical updates, though.
Coach.
Yeah, coach. I mean, with only 9 guys available, I mean, how
Hold
important is
on,
it been?
hold on, Hutch. Did you get Sports Writer of the Year?
I did.
Congratulations.
Thanks, coach. I appreciate it. But I was going to ask, yeah, with only 9 guys available healthy right now, how important has been kind of the emergence of Devo and Jalen Williams the last few games?
No, I mean, both those guys been great. Love how they've worked. I think that their progression's been really good from a confidence standpoint. It's unique because sometimes what happens with freshmen is they play a lot in non-conference, and then when you get to conference, a lot of the freshmen's minutes kind of shrink. And with this group, I mean, Moses has been very consistent with his minutes and his productivity from day one. But we have 2 freshmen right now that are playing more in conference than they were non-conference. And it's because they got to learn the system. They now know our offense. They now know what's expected of them. And they've gotten better with each day. So really proud of both those guys, touch their development. And unfortunately, I think KK was on the same plane that those guys were. But hey, we got two freshmen that are getting better by the day. Doesn't mean they're going to have, great games every night out. There's always going to be peaks and valleys, and rotations change and matchups change. But both Devo and Jalen, incredible pieces. And shoot, our last road trip, I met with them, the 3 of them, not Moses, but I met with the other 3 and had a long talk with them about the importance of those guys and their development and keeping a positive, mind, and how much we believed in them. And it wasn't always going to equate to the minutes that they might want or what they expected, but keep working, and they've done that. Curtis.
Hey, coach, I guess LSU is second right behind you guys in the SEC in scoring. What do you see that makes them go offensively, and what are some of the keys to maybe slowing them down?
Really, really talented offensive team, Curtis. I mean, they just go out there and they play ball. They, not a lot of overly complicated sets, but they have a power forward who, is a natural 3-man that they play at the 4-5 in Watford, who is kind of a point forward. Javante Smart, so experienced at the point guard position, and a guy that can really, really score the ball. Obviously, Cameron Thomas is as good a scorer as we have in our league at the off guard spot. Darius Days, all you got to do is watch our game at LSU last year to know how talented he is. He can rebound. He can shoot the 3. He's an excellent, excellent offensive rebounder. And so those guys in particular, we're concerned with. Those top 4 guys can score the ball, and then Milani Wilkerson's a guy that plays really hard, number 0. He's their small forward that's a good basket cutter and an excellent offensive rebounder. Scotty.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you about Jalen Williams' last 3 games. I guess just what have you seen from him from a maturity standpoint, and then his defensive impact?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, he's a player that really, really likes Scotty to take charges. So he's a high charge player for us. He's got the ability to block shots as well. He's a very good help defender. And then, offensively, he made some really, really aggressive moves offensively at Tennessee. And just, he continues to get better. And it looks like he's more comfortable out there. We want to try to, get those turnovers down a little bit. We've had a few too many turnovers. It might be a moving screen or a ball handling turnover, but for a, what people don't understand is like freshman bigs. Those are the guys that take maybe a little bit more time. And he's been phenomenal.
One more. I wonder what it's like to coach Devo on a daily basis. He seems like he's a pretty fun kid to be around.
Yeah, he's great because he's, the growth in his game. His growth of understanding a good shot compared to a bad shot from today, from where it was when he stepped on campus, dramatically improved. His decision-making with the ball, I thought the first month here, it was either a home run play or maybe a strikeout. And now he's starting to understand, just make the simple play. And, defensively, he's gone from being a high gamble, high take a risk defender to being a guy who's use your athleticism, use your length, but do it within the confines of what the defensive scheme is on that night. So, great progress, and he is fun to be around. I don't think he lets me get into his head if I get on him. I think he's, pretty Teflon and lets it bounce off of him and maybe takes the message and not the tone. But he's a fun guy to be around.
Trey.
Coach, I was wondering on the ankle surgeries, how long have players been doing that? It seems like it used to just be a recovery deal.
Trey, are you like referencing Justin?
Yes.
Yeah. So there was, again, I'm not a medical guy. I wish I had. Something was like pulled off the bone slightly, so he did need a repair. It wasn't just an ankle sprain that they went in there and scoped or whatever. So there was some, I don't know how, whatever, but yeah, there was something that needed to happen that was much more than just an old school. When I grew up, they told you to take a couple aspirin and put your foot in a bucket and go play. He had to have the surgery.
Nikki.
Hey, Coach, how important is the turnover battle versus LSU, and what do you think of the size matchup with your guys?
Yeah, Nikki, I think obviously, one of the strengths of LSU is their ability to get steals. They're averaging 9.5 steals a game, which is 12th in the country. So that's a really big part. Obviously we've turned some teams over. When you look at the turnovers that we caused in the Missouri game and maybe the turnovers that we caused in the Georgia game, and both teams like to score. It's interesting because they're such a great offensive rebounding team, but yet Watford's really a three-man playing the 4 or the 5 again as a point forward, and then Days is kind of a 4-man who's playing some 5. He's a really good pick and pop player. So to some degree, they're, I don't want to say undersized because they are great athletes with great length. And obviously, Trendon Waterford's like he's got incredible size at 6'9". But like we're, some of our things are like, what are our matchups going to be? Who do we start? Because of the matchup problems, because number 2, Watford can beat you off the bounce and is an elbow isolation player. And then Days can shoot the 3 as well as post up. So I think it's, we might have to think outside the box a little bit in some of our matchups, with how we might line up to start the game.
Bob? Yeah, Eric, watching that LSU Ole Miss game, I mean, Thomas got hurt real early, and they still beat Ole Miss pretty bad on the road. What do you think of their performance without Thomas? And I guess he's questionable at this point. We're not sure. What's your take on maybe whether or not he's going to play?
Yeah, I mean, they're so talented. I mean, usually when we play a team, we look at a team and say, this team's got 1 or 2 stars. This team has 4 stars, 4 guys that can single-handedly take over games. And so from a talent standpoint, I don't know if there's a more talented team in the league, but certainly they are as talented as anybody in the league, especially when you look at their scoring and having 4 different players that can put up huge numbers. So that's a concern. And I mean, our prep today, tomorrow, and shoot around will 1,000% include number 24, Cameron Thomas. We are not thinking that he's not going to play. We're not buying that. We're planning on seeing him. I watched it on tape. I mean, we're assuming that he's going to play.
And he's leading the league in scoring, or at least he was. I don't know what that did to his average to not play. I mean, he played, but then that's going to divide the games in. But what is it about Thomas, a freshman coming in and leading the SEC in scoring?
Great confidence. Can get his shot off whenever he wants. I mean, look at his free throw shooting. I think that free throw shooting is always it's the NBA's biggest indicator for how a guy can improve from 3-point land. That's the one metrics that NBA teams use as they try to project a player's future. He can shoot over people. He can pump fake and uses escape dribble, meaning pump fake and go to his left, go to his right, go to his step back game. He does not need much airspace to get a clean look at the rim. He can rise over people. And then when they run any down pins for him, he's awesome at kind of banana cut bending into his shot. And so you got to carry a high hand before he catches the ball.
And, they had 3 guys enter the draft and 3 guys come back. You remember looking at that thinking, all 3 of them, or just what was your take on that?
Yeah, I was thinking that since we went 0 for 2 and they went 3 for 3, sure. Whatever.
Yeah. And then the rebounding, I mean, it was a crazy game last year because you guys had a shot to win, a couple at the end, probably with some contact and didn't get called, but they really killed you on the boards, but you still almost won the game. But it looks like you're better equipped to rebound with them now.
Yeah, I think rebounding wise, we are more equipped than we were. I mean, obviously, if it was, me and you, Bob, and Scotty and Trey and Curtis, if we all went out there and Nicky came off the bench and we tried to rebound the ball, it would probably be no different than what it was last year. So, we're certainly way more, equipped this year to rebound than we were last year.
Yeah, I can't jump, but I'm a good space eater.
I could imagine, Bob, you being able to box out 1.5 guys. I could see you going here and then reverse pivot and go there. I could see that, Bob.
I could probably do that if I had to. So anyway, well, hey, thanks, Eric. I'm good.
All right, Coach. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.